Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is Sister Nicolette Hodge. I am a prophetess, standing with and representing Master Suleiman, the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one. He is the crusher. Welcome. Today we're going to speak about the sign of Jonah. Before we get into our presentation from today, we're going to reflect on what these devils have done to us. The Holocaust is our complete experience of being dehumanized and persecuted for nearly 500 years under the rulership of these devils. They're trying to whitewash our history. They're trying to diminish it. They're trying to sweep it under the rug by calling it slavery. Slavery is 1% of what we went through. They're trying to call it a critical race theory. A theory may or may not be true. The Holocaust is straight facts. Unimaginable, relentless rapings, beatings, sodomization, torture. These devils experienced extreme amounts of pleasure and joy from torturing us and tormenting us and afflicting us. It's just so sick. Because if they were righteous, holy people like they lie and pretend to be, then they would have did righteous, holy things to us. They are beasts. They are foul. They are skunks. That's why they did unspeakable, horrific acts on us. From the very moment of our conception until the day we took our last breath, we lived in total agony. So as you get your children ready for Christmas, you're lying to your children, telling them that Santa Claus is coming down the chimney with some presents and they better be naughty or nice or whatever this BS is. You got a list for them and Santa's list and all this mess. You have no clue what you're celebrating, brothers and sisters. These satanic pagan rituals have nothing to do with the unsealed scriptures whatsoever. And while you're running around here singing jingle bells, you have no clue where that had originated from. These devils were putting big old iron metal collars on us, called slave collars. These collars span several feet out from our body. They have spikes on them and they had those bells on it that you have on your Christmas tree right now, that you're about to go purchase. They had those bells on the collar so that they could hear us. Their guard dogs and master could hear us as we tried to escape the plantation at night. And the way that these iron collars are set up is, for one, we had to walk around and sleep with these collars on it. We made one wrong move, it would snap our neck. They had designed these collars in such a way where you could not even walk through a forest without getting caught or hooked on something. Those same bells that are on your Christmas tree are the bells that they put on our collars to hear us. But you're running around here singing jingle bells and you're in the Christmas spirit and you're getting your ham ready. And all of this is a bunch of satanic, devil worship and BS. And it's a big distraction to keep you from understanding what's going on right now, what's taking place around us, what is about to happen. Famine is about to strike America. These devils have you looking forward to the next holiday. These events that they have set up on their calendars, to the point where you are so distracted. Every month it's either a holiday, they're telling you to celebrate some mess, the game, the sports and entertainment, the Grammy Awards, Emmy Awards. Is something around the clock to keep you distracted from the reality. And the things that you are participating in and you're giving your energy to is killing us, brothers and sisters. And so you sitting up here getting ready to celebrate Christmas, you are feeding into their agenda of the lies. Countless and endless lies, just like they're lying about the Holocaust. They will not tell the truth about what they did to us. Because if they told you the truth about the Holocaust, you would be ready to leave America right now. You would be looking for the nearest exit up out of here. You would be speaking the Abrahamic covenant to our brothers and sisters left and right. because you will understand that complete and total separation is the only option for us to have our own reality, our own paradise, our own country, our own community of us. We have not had unity for a very long time. We have been plagued with the demons since we've been here in America, so we have never truly been able to unite with each other. Understand that the Holocaust is our complete experience. The Holocaust is the payment. We already paid our price for our reward, which is stated in the Abrahamic covenant. We get our own land in between the great river Euphrates, the great river Egypt. That is Arabia. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to get right into the presentation for today, the Sign of Jonah, the resurrected nation of Islam. This is the sign of Jonah, brothers and sisters. Understand that the nation of Islam was destroyed during the falling away back in 1975. The messenger departed. He was taken away. FARRAKHAN, as the national spokesman, was responsible for the nation. He allowed Warf Deen to come in and dissolve all assets. They worked together to destroy the nation. FARRAKHAN thought he was going to get this big cut off of it, and when he didn't get anything, he went into hiding. He resurfaced in 1980, talking about he's rebuilding the nation and welcome, he's wanting people to welcome him home as his brother, in which quite a few people had overlooked the fact that FARRAKHAN was the one who destroyed the nation in the first place. And so the Nation of Islam has not been in existence since in the past 42 years. You've been looking at some distorted image. FARRAKHAN, as the decrepit fool that he is, sitting in Elijah's seat, an imposter, a snake, pretending that he is the Messiah. He's calling himself the Anointed One, when he was nothing but a mouthpiece for the messenger, nothing else. And so this is the only sign that would be given to this wicked generation. Of course, we have many signs, the righteous, that we can see. However, there is only one sign given to this wicked generation, and they are awaiting this sign so that they can attack us. Master Farrah Muhammad is also waiting this sign so that he can make his move over in the Middle East. He's not going to make his move until we unite. Now, there's other scriptures all throughout the unsealed Bible that backs up this sign of Jonah. For instance, the Ancient of Days. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. Understand, there's two things going on here. The thrones were cast down first, and then the Ancient of Days did sit. And then it gives a physical description of the Ancient of Days so that there is no confusion or deception as to who the Ancient of Days, the messenger of the covenant, is. It says that his hair will be like pure wool. That cannot possibly be Farrakhan. Okay, and it's not Master Farrah Muhammad, which Master Farrah Muhammad never claimed that he's the Ancient of Days. That's Farrakhan sitting above all, proclaiming that he is the Anointed One. Farrakhan is the son of a devil. His father's name is Percival Clark. He is a false Jew. Therefore, Farrakhan is a false Jew in black skin. He is a demon. You need to understand that the FBI counterintelligence program, they had a whole list of accomplishments that they wanted done to destroy the Nation of Islam. They had to send in one of their own people, Louis Farrakhan, to get the job done. That's why Farrakhan is playing all these different mind games with you. He's here to separate the good Jews from the satanic Jews. No, scripture says all those who call themselves Jews or are not are the synagogue of Satan. That means all these European Germans are Satan. Therefore, Farrakhan himself is also Satan. And it's just so funny because in Matthew, Jesus actually calls Peter Satan. Understand that Peter is Farrakhan. He also represents Aaron. He's also the son of perdition. He's also the man of sin. He's also Legion. And in the book of Matthew, Jesus was explaining to his disciples that he was going to Jerusalem to suffer many things from the elders, the chief priests, and scribes. And on the third day, he would be risen from the dead. Peter rebuked Jesus. Okay? He did not stand with Jesus. He was against Jesus. He denied that these things was going to take place to Jesus. He lacked faith, which is a reoccurring issue with Peter, Aaron, son of perdition, a man of sin. Every single character that represents Farrakhan in the Bible is constantly coming up stinking once you do your research and see what's going on. Constantly going against God and showing that he is not in harmony with anything that Jesus is setting out to do, period. And so Jesus told Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block." Okay, in some translations it says you are a hindrance. You are a dangerous trap. Why is it that Jesus called Peter Satan? Why is it that Jesus identified him as Satan? That's because Farrakhan is a false Jew in black skin. All the false Jews are Satan. And so that's further confirmation of exactly who Farrakhan is. He is a devil in black skin. He's a demon. And these false Jews are at the top of civilization. They are running things. They run Hollywood. They run the money system. They run the Navy. They run they have one of their own, false Jew, running the Nation of Islam. And so, you know, with him playing these mind games, he's here to separate the satanic Jews from the bad Jews, from the good Jews. They're all Satan. Well, he done already told on himself that he's a false Jew, so he's trying to say that some of them are good and some of them are bad. No, they're all Satan. Just like he tries to say some devils are good, some devils are bad. No, a devil is a devil is a devil. There is no reforming a devil, period. Farrakhan's first order of business was to bring these devils into the NOI, to bring his swine daddy into the NOI, and told those in the NOI to stop identifying devils as devils. Don't call them devils anymore. Why would he do that? That's completely against everything we stand for. That's against all of the teachings and lessons. That's because he's a devil himself. And so you have to understand that with Farrakhan being casted out of the Nation of Islam by the Levites, he is useless to his swine daddy because he was put in place with the mission to destroy the nation, and he thought that he was really doing something. He has only given 42 years to be in Elijah's seat. And with that 42 years, 1980 to 2022, this is the end of his reign. Once he is casted out of the Nation of Islam, that means that the devils are no longer in charge. The devils are no longer running our nation. And so what does that mean for him? They don't have no use for him, and he wasn't able to accomplish a long term. He wasn't able to keep the nation down because he was put in place to destroy it. However, he can't keep it down. Levites, we are about to unite and cast Farrakhan out any day now. And so that should tell you something right there about his how things are going to end up for him. These devils are going to rip him to shreds. He is going to end up on the dinner table being devoured by his swine daddies. He has 3 chastisements. The first is disembowelment. He has no reproductive organs. He is pissing and shitting in a bag. He cannot procreate. He cannot be intimate. This is a severe chastisement that I don't know any man that would accept being disemboweled. And he says he's the anointed one. He says that he's the Messiah. He says that he's getting us across the river. For one, he will not even read us the fulfillment of the Abrahamic covenant. For two, he is decrepit. He is a cripple. He has nurses around the clock wiping him up and changing him like a little baby. And he's lying. He's putting on his front like he is healthy and he's strong and he's mighty. He has these clowns strapping him up to a piece of wood, putting him up to the podium, making it look like he's standing up. And then as soon as he thinks the cameras have died down, he slips right back into his wheelchair and is showing his true colors. But when the camera is on him, he's putting up this image and this facade that he is just healthy and he's mighty and he's holy, and it's nothing but a bunch of hogwash. And nothing but a big old pig in a wheelchair. Now understand that Satan is the god of this world. The false Jews, like I explained, they are controlling our image. They're controlling our narrative on the media. They got us looking like clowns, junkies, pimps, whores, when we are highly sophisticated and educated people by nature, period. And so they screw up our image and our narrative and then tell us that we need to be acting like them, that we need to be working to get close to massa. We need to keep our head down and keep our nose clean and just keep working the plantation, keep working the American dream. Constantly telling us that we're lazy and we're sinful and we good for nothing and we wicked. That is none of us. That is FARRAKHAN. That is the demons. That is his demon followers. He is the accuser of us that is about to be cast down. Know them by their works. Okay? You can look at FARRAKHAN's rap sheet and see exactly who he is. He destroyed our small piece of paradise that we had right here in hell, what we had doing for self. And yes, we were plagued with the demons. However, we were still had enough unification to start the process of waking us up. And he came and put all that to zero. He turned the temples into mosques. He brought in the Dianetics, Scientology, and Masonry, bringing devils in, putting them in FOI uniforms, telling everyone in the NOI, trying to get the Levites to sell out and integrate and mix with these devils. That's the same thing that his swine daddies are doing in the Democratic Party, talking about interracial marriage and same-sex marriage. Why are they legalizing these things now? They want to completely destroy our original seed. And they're trying to find ways to legalize raping our seed out of existence. Understand that FARRAKHAN's 42-year reign is up. The Levites are no longer standing by and allowing FARRAKHAN to sit in Elijah's seat. The Levites unifying will cast FARRAKHAN and his demon followers down and send them right back into America with their swine daddies. And the Ancient of Days did sit. The Nation of Islam will be joining the messenger of the covenant, Master Suleiman. Levites, understand that you have enough energy to unite right now. Once that the Nation of Islam is resurrected, and the Levites take their place in the ranks, the Levites will be a barrier of protection for Lazarus as Lazarus is being raised from the dead. Our nation is about to be born. You need to understand that this sign of Jonah, it causes a domino effect. The world would never be the same once FARRAKHAN is casted out of the NOI. This is going to send shockwaves because these devils thought that they were in control of the one black organization that is really doing something for our people. That was the whole purpose of Master Farrakhan Muhammad coming and finding us and raising up one from amongst us, Elijah Muhammad, and teaching us who we are. We are gods and goddesses of the universe, teaching us about our holy land, holy city Mecca in Arabia that we have preserved for ourselves. That should tell you everything you need to know. We're preserving something for ourselves. That means we're going back to it. The messenger told you that we're living out Exodus. Now, FARRAKHAN came and tried to diminish all of that, talking about some reparations, talking about we're staying here, we're not going anywhere. So he's telling us that our reward and our covenant means nothing. He's calling Allah a liar. He's calling the messenger a liar. He's calling Master Farrakhan Muhammad a liar. And he's saying that we're sinful, which means that we deserve to be put through the Holocaust. When we know that the Holocaust was our payment for our inheritance. And he's saying we don't get our inheritance. So he's robbing us. However, with the Levites unifying, that is signaling that the birth of our new nation is about to take place. And the Levites must rise up first because we are a barrier of protection for Lazarus, also known as the tribe of Shabazz. Okay, and they are waiting to destroy us as soon as we are born. Now, when the Nation of Islam joins Master Suleiman, we are going to be teaching you about the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam. This is your protection. This is your shield to keep you from perishing or dying right here on the battlefield. We are in a fiery furnace. You got your shield on. You have your force field so strong and wide that nothing can penetrate it. These devils will not be able to lay a finger on us or the demons. And so we will be teaching you about the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam, how to protect yourself. And what you need to understand is that our new nation is about to be born. Now, our new nation you're looking at right here, it is the tribe of Shabazz and the gold. That's the elect. The Shia, that's our Iranian and Syrian brothers and sisters over in the Middle East. The Levites, that's the Islamic part of the African nation. Okay, and you got the NOI, that's in between, that's in tribulations, in between the Sunnis, which is also known as water. Okay, however, this is our new Jerusalem. This is our new nation that's about to be born. We are in the womb right now. The Levites are the first to unite and resurrect. Now you need to understand that this child is being born. Part of our nation is here in America with the Levites and the tribe of Shabazz. However, the Shia, they're not coming over here. Iran and Syria, they are being born at the same time over in the Middle East. Okay, and what you see is by the time our nation is completely birthed, we're all going to be in the same area. And they're not coming over here to America, so that means we have already been delivered. We're already back home in our promised land by this time. Now, what you need to understand is that when a child is being born, when you're carrying your baby, this is most sisters understand this, and the doctor cannot give you a day or a time that the child is going to be born. They can get you as close as possible with the estimations and due dates, which is what Master Suleiman has done. He is the one that is certified and qualified to deliver us out of the womb. Now, for 30 plus years, he has been taking time preparing a meal, buffet of knowledge for us, so that as soon as we are born, we can immediately start receiving nourishment, knowledge of self. Now, no one knows the day or the hour except for the Father. Not even the Son knows. Master Suleiman is the Son. He has gotten us as close as he can. He has brought us all the way up to this point of the Sign of Jonah. Okay, however, no one knows the day or time. You don't know when you're going into labor, but you have different signs that's taking place that let you know, okay, this baby is about to come. Okay, you lose your mucus plug. Your pelvis opens up in preparation for the baby to come through. Your contractions start getting closer together, closer and stronger and harder. And then in a lot of cases, the water breaks. These are all signs to let you know that you are coming closer and closer to the birth of this child. Well, with the sign of Jonah, that's the only sign that would be given to this wicked generation for them to know that this child is about to be born. Now, why do they want a sign? Because they want to attack us as soon as we are born. The Revelations, the angel explains how the dragon was waiting to devour the child as soon as it was born. You need to understand that the dragon is the house of Sod, and his angels are America, Britain, and false Israel. The dragon is trying to attack our nation over in the Middle East, and his angels are trying to attack us over here in the West. So Master Farrakhan Muhammad has to make his move against the dragon before the dragon can attack us. Before the dragon and his angels can attack us. Okay, so Master Farrakhan Muhammad is waiting this sign of Jonah so that he can make his move first. This is a very critical time period. And this sign of Jonah causes a domino effect that cannot be stopped once it starts. Okay, once your water break and that baby is coming, you cannot, no matter how hard you try, you cannot keep that baby from coming. And it is a very, very critical time period. You could have went your whole pregnancy with a perfectly healthy baby, but if your baby gets stuck in that birth canal and is not getting enough oxygen, that's brain damage for the rest of the child's life. There's a very critical period that we're about to be born. And the timing has to be just right. That's another thing about when you bringing a child in. Everything with the timing has to be just right, just like I explained. You letting that baby sit in the birth canal, not getting enough oxygen, that can affect the child for the rest of their life of brain damage. And so the sign of Jonah, the Levites unite and repent of FARRAKHAN, casting him and his demon followers out. Master Farrakhan Muhammad is waiting on that sign so that he can go to war with the dragon and his angels. Remember, the angel explains that Michael and his angels, that's Master Farrakhan Muhammad, Iran and Syria, go to war with the dragon and his angels. That means that they make the first move. Okay, and the dragon and his angels are kicked out of heaven altogether. It says there was no place found for them in heaven. The first ones to get put out the Middle East is the House of Sod, America, and Britain. Okay, now you need to understand that the House of Sod was put in place or allowed to be in Arabia, okay, because they were guaranteeing a oil, let me make sure I'm explaining this correct. America and Britain allowed the House of Sod to sit in our land, Arabia, under the agreement of a guaranteed oil pipeline. Okay, so America's in charge of our holy sites over there. And they are letting the Sunnis sit on our land because it guarantees this continuous flow of oil over here to the west. With America, Britain, and the House of Sod getting kicked out the Middle East first, that cuts off their oil pipeline immediately. Famine immediately strikes America. Now you need to understand that false Israel was put in place by America and Britain to counter the narrative that we are the true seed of Abraham. That's what Elijah Muhammad was teaching, is that we are the seed of Abraham. We're going back home. And with them putting false Israel into place in 1948 to counteract that narrative, they put the most hated of their kind, the false Jews, over there on top of civilization. Okay, and they're saying that they are God's people and that they've been led to the promised land, and that's a bunch of BS. They're not sitting in Arabia. They're sitting off in the Palestinian country, Jerusalem. The Passover did not pass over them. It's passing over us right now. This plague has been going on since 2020. Okay, and it's dropping them like flies because they are the Egyptians that the plague was sent for. And we are God's chosen people, and it's not affecting us. And you might catch COVID, but you're not going to die from it. And so, false Israel is now under siege. They were getting all their resources and money and military backing from America and Britain. America and Britain is kicked out the Middle East at this point. False Israel will not be receiving any food in or going out. Iran and Syria are going to leave them under siege long enough for the whole world to see the savage beasts that these devils truly are. They're going to resort to cannibalism. America is getting a preview, a front row preview of what's to come here. That's why scripture says men's hearts will be failing for fear of what's to come upon the earth. The earth is the European nations. They will see what's going over in the Middle East, as false Israel will be on display for the whole world to see the savagery that they are all about. And then you need to understand that false Israel being under siege and destroyed makes it clear to the whole world that they cannot possibly be the seed of Abraham. They cannot possibly be God's chosen people. It says that once we were put in our land, we would never be uprooted again. So with them being uprooted out of the Holy Land, for one, they're not even in Arabia. However, they're in the Holy Land of the Middle East. They're in heaven. With them being uprooted, then that makes it clear that we are the chosen people. So how do you think these devils are going to be dealing with us knowing that? They're going to take their mask off, brothers and sisters. All this time they've had us right where they wanted us. We have not been a threat. Now that it's clear that we are God's chosen people and that they are Satan and the devil and evil warmongers, pedophiles, rapists, beasts, murderers, they're going to really show their true colors. They're all bets are off at that point. They don't have nothing to lose. They will immediately start attacking all blacks right here in America. Famine is striking America immediately. Not only that, all the European nations have been plunged into the war of Armageddon, which means that the European nations will be fighting against each other. They don't have any oil. As America's oil pipeline been cut off, they're not getting any from Russia. You need to understand that with it not being any oil and any diesel and whatnot, that means no food, period. Their whole industrialized complex runs off of oil. Without any oil, their economy is done overnight. It's destroyed. Okay, and if they have oil over here on the land, you need to understand that it takes oil to get oil. They're not going to be able to pump anything up out of their land, nothing up out the ocean. Whatever food is in the warehouses or on farmland, they're not going to have any oil to get it to us. Not only that, they got us classified as 3/5 human under the U.S. Constitution. Why did they keep it like that? They have been keeping us in their back pocket because they knew that at some point shit was going to hit the fan. They knew that they weren't going to keep being able to go on like this. So they kept us as 3/5 human so they could have us in a back pocket for a meal when they hit desperate times, when times get rough. Then it sat here and explored damn near everything else within their different laws and whatnot. You know, same-sex marriage, interracial marriage. They are legalizing stuff that has been going on for the longest. But they will not change that 3/5 human clause. They've done it on purpose. Okay, and that's just another way to show you and prove to you that they are dehumanizing us. Nobody on the planet has gone through this, brothers and sisters, but us. Why? Why are we despised so much? Because we are the chosen people. And so Master Farad Muhammad makes his move before they're able to make their move on us. He makes the move on them. Okay, and America, Britain, Russia, EU, they're all in the war of Armageddon. Scriptures tell you that mother against daughter, father against son, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law. The mother is America, daughter is Russia, father is Britain, son is the EU, the daughter-in-law is the demons, the mother-in-law is America. Once we cast Farrakhan out and his demon followers back into America with their swine daddies, because they're not staying up under us. As a matter of fact, they're going to try to go to war with us, or excuse me, there will be a war between us and the demons, because they're going to try to convince us to come fight with them. They figure that it's 17 million of us original brothers and sisters, and it's 17 million of them. They're going to try to get us to unite with them to go fight and take America back for themselves. We don't want no parts of that, period. We don't want nothing to do with the demons. We don't want nothing to do with America. We want to go home. We want complete and total separation. We want our own country. We preserved our land knowing that we was coming over here under the rulership of these devils. We are sojourners. That means temporary. Okay, however, the demons, they want this land for themselves. They want 100% ownership. They're willing to fight tooth and nail to get it too. And you need to understand that the demons are on the menu. These devils are fighting against the demons to eat them. The demons are fighting back. The demons will not win this war. They will end up on the dinner table of Massa. They swine daddy. That's how cold Massa is. He don't care that it's his own children. And so this is the war Armageddon that is sparked from them losing the war over in the Middle East. The shock of the hour when false Israel goes under siege and destroyed. And what's the shock? It's called the abomination of desolation. The shock is that false Israel, the one who have been sitting on top of civilization, lying, claiming to be God's people, claiming to be the seed of Abraham, have been exposed as the liars and hypocrites that they are. It's the same thing with Farrakhan. It's going to be a shock when Farrakhan gets exposed and casted out of the NOI. That's a small preview of what the rest of these devils have to look forward to. Because the false Jews, and this is just from what I've seen based on my studying, the false Jews are the ones to go down first. Farrakhan, a false Jew, gets casted out of the Nation of Islam. False Israel gets casted, actually destroyed. Okay, which means that they are completely removed from the Holy Land altogether. They're the ones who have stolen our identity. Farrakhan is doing the same thing. He has stolen our identity. He's stolen, saying that he is the anointed one, saying that he is the Messiah. He's stolen our identity of Master Suleiman. He has stolen our identity as original people. Because he's claiming to be one of us and he is not. And he has deceived so many of our people who don't know any better. Especially young people who don't know much of anything. And so the shock of the hour from them being destroyed, false Israel being destroyed over in the Middle East, that sparks famine because America's oil pipeline is cut off. That sparks the war of Armageddon. And while the West is fighting against itself, China and India take advantage. They come right on in with their 200 million man army. They're coming to invade America. Once they get done, America will be a nuclear wasteland. These devils will not be allowed to nuke up our home over in the Middle East. However, America will be a nuclear wasteland. It will be nuked up. This is the flood of humanity. It's not a flood of water and oceans are overflowing and rivers. No, this is a flood of humanity. This is the river and the sea. This is angel language. 200 million man army of China and India, and they're coming over with no mercy. For one, they've seen the way that these devils have been treating us for nearly 500 years. As far as China and India is concerned, there is nothing off limits for them to do to these devils. All right, brothers and sisters, I hope this is understandable. The sign of Jonah is the spark to the war in the Middle East. This sign must occur before Master Farad Muhammad makes his move. Understand that the dragon, which is the House of Assad, and his angels, America, Britain, false Israel, they're also awaiting this sign. The sign of Jonah signifies that the birth of our new nation is near. That also means that their destruction is near. And they are trying to destroy us before they get destroyed. And so, Levites, the ball is in your court. We have the energy to unite right now. And I will be back with more. Thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum.